Hello, ghouls. Welcome to the Shrouded in Darkness podcast. Today is a very special impromptu episode, and it's an important one, so we're going off schedule. Now, I started this podcast almost 10 months ago, and although I considered starting a podcast for a long time, it was a too close to home case that truly opened that door for me. This case shocked our family, and I knew I had to get the story out. It deserved to be shared. And if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, then you know my goal at Shrouded in Darkness is to be an outlet. A place for victims' voices to be heard. A place where we try to find the truth together. Because every victim's voice matters. And today, I want to talk about that first case. Here's a quick recap. Episode 1 covers a 2021 double homicide in Madison County, Arkansas. The victims are Michael Gilman and Lori Newman. Our suspect is Jeffrey Ryan Kelly. Our person of interest is Katrina Barnhart. And this is why the case is close to home. Katrina is my husband's sister, his only sibling. She originally testified stating that Jeff killed our victims. The details she shares are so in-depth that it's hard to believe she wasn't at the scene herself. Another important fact about this case, Katrina and Jeff's home, it's very close to Mike and Lori's. We're talking walking distance. And that's not all. My father-in-law, so my husband and Katrina's father, is also somehow involved in all of this. His property is right there with theirs. And honestly, he's probably more involved than we'd like to think. We know, the detectives know, everyone knows. So we fast forward. Jeff convinces Katrina to marry him. This happens in 2025 before his trial date. And this is when she recants her story. She takes all of it back. She even tries to fabricate other possible scenarios. And now she can't be forced to testify due to spousal privilege. Remember, they're married now. So the charges are dropped because the prosecutors can't risk double jeopardy. So Katrina, since she interfered with the investigation and recanted her story, she is sentenced to 10 years in an Arkansas prison for hindering apprehension of prosecution. Meanwhile, Jeff is sent back to Georgia to serve 12 months for probation violation, which actually has nothing to do with this case we're talking about. So now back to my podcast in that first episode. To my surprise, a few months after the show went live, family members of Lori reached out thanks to the Idaho Cold Cases Facebook page. And ghouls, this is how I knew I was doing the right thing, that I was following the right path. I was given the opportunity to learn about Lori through her younger sister's eyes. Things I wouldn't have known otherwise. And this is such a huge deal to me. I have to say that Lori sounds like a beautiful soul. She's described as selfless and kind, the heart of her family. She loved deeply and unconditionally. She and Mike were very happy together, and they lived simply in their small Arkansas home. They were free spirits that loved nature, and that's exactly what brought them to Arkansas from their home in Idaho. Mike's cousin, James, offered them a fresh start, somewhere they could see themselves finally having the animals they want, the land they want, basically paradise. But that dream was taken from them in the blink of an eye. Jeff Kelly and Katrina Barnhart took those innocent lives into their own hands. And since then, because of their lives ending so brutally and unexpectedly, both families of Mike and Lori have suffered devastating losses. These families will never be the same. Back to Lori's sisters, Angela and Mandy. In our communication, I learned that their mother and father passed away not long after Lori. Their mom 10 months after, and their father another 8 months after that. And that's not all. Lori had 5 children. Tiffany, Patricia, Brantley, Stephen, and Trisani. Mike was Brantley's father, but he loved all the kids as if they were his own. A truly beautiful family. And this just goes to show you how many lives were changed that day. In addition to Angela and Mandy, I was also contacted by a family friend. He reached out on behalf of Stephen, one of the kids. Mind you, I know I say kids, but I'm pretty sure all 5 of them are actually grown now from what I can tell. But Stephen could have easily been with his parents on that day. But instead, and thankfully, he was living with his grandfather. Today, thanks to my communication with Angela and Mandy, I can tell you that Stephen lives with his brother Brantley, and they're doing very well, despite what they've been forced to endure. Now here we are. It's almost August 2026. We're left with nothing. I mean, we know who did it. We have the motive, the opportunity. We even know what weapon was used and how it ties back to the family. My husband even remembers it. But none of that can help without that one witness testimony. Sadly, the prosecutor's hands are tied with this case. With Katrina refusing to help, refusing to testify, the prosecutors have nothing. And because of that, both Katrina and Jeff will be free in a matter of months, after taking 2 lives and changing countless others. Now, I said Katrina is serving her time in Arkansas, but she's expected to be released in January of 2027. She has stated that, online states that, and the family of Lori has reached out to prosecutors and they've confirmed that as well. Despite their efforts, because they have sent some really poignant letters to those involved in the case, trying to keep that from happening, trying to keep the release from happening. But from what I can tell, it's still going to happen. So Katrina's being released in January, and then Jeff will finish his 12-month sentence and be released in December of this year. So they're getting out a month apart from each other. All we can do now is hope for resolutions. Hope for a miracle. Hope for some kind of change. As we continue to keep Lori and Mike's memories alive, and keep their families and their friends in our thoughts. If you would, I ask that you share today's episode. Let's make sure Mike and Lori's stories are shared. Let's get their voices heard. Ghouls, thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Until next time, remember, the truth is always hiding in the darkness.